So you
Ready?
can't talk, and I did it so you can't talk about my shit. Because I know you want. I got all that shit taken care of. I'm getting compliments too from the old ladies in the Dina, bro. I don't like that shit.
Yeah, because you look like an old guy in the Dina.
Yeah, they're like you look handsome. I'm like, who says that? So, yeah, I can't come into your family reunion. She's like, yeah, don't worry about that. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy Pablo, aka Grandma's favorite grandson, the bearded wonder, pod boss, pod gift, CEO of this thing of ours, SMG, Mr. More AKAs in HBCU. New AKA alert, Obi Pod Kenobi, pinkies up. And into another episode of Toxicology Report with me and my best friend. And best friend, tell everybody who you are.
It's your boy best friend, aka the colonizer, aka two in the pink, one in the stink. Hey, why are you wearing a black and pink shirt like me?
You know, my brother, man.
I think my guy could beat your guy. No doubt.
Your guy died. He's never died, bro. Like
he didn't really die. My guy was just like under like sleep. He was like it was a deep
your
sleep.
Guy ran from a fight. My guy never ran from a fight. Okay.
Well, it depends on which. My guy was flicking peanuts through the bar, like ping, ping, ping.
He was
like bullets.
But then he also gave up his powers for a woman. My guy would never do that. Like
and most of our followers don't even know what that.
They don't know what that means. Yeah,
they're like, what are you talking? I ain't never seen a Superman movie where he was flicking peanuts in a bar.
Henry never done anything like that.
Yeah, Henry ain't never do that. He ain't never drink no beer and get drunk.
Right.
Superman never been drunk. Yep. Superman got busted drinking and flying.
That's the that meme y'all see when Superman is sitting drunk in a bar. That's what we're talking about, people. So, how you been, man?
I'm all right, man.
Yeah.
A little sad, man. They got the news of Bray Wyatt, man.
Indeed. And Terry Funk.
Not even and Terry Funk, like Ric Flair went off on ESPN today for not talking about Terry Funk, and then boom. And then I saw ESPN posted Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. And then I just went on Flair's page. He put both pictures up. He said lose a good friend 2 days ago, and then a real good dude. And it's just crazy. So, but even Braun put a whole paragraph up on his page. He had an old picture of him when he was Fat Braun. So
Fat Braun.
Yeah, man. Like Bray Wyatt was that dude, man. I was waiting for him to come back because everybody said he was coming back. So
I thought for sure he was going to AEW when he came back. I thought he was just, but they said he was sick or whatever, and then he was going to come back. And then I saw his brother show up yesterday, and I was like, that dude looks familiar. And then they were like, Bo Dallas is All Elite, and I'm like, oh, that is Bo. Now he's going to be off. He come back and then finally get his chance. Man.
But, because he was Uncle Howdy. So
that's what I understand. Like, they're so terrible with their storyline.
Yeah. That was Uncle Howdy. And so he was supposed to come back. He's really supposed to come back and start the whole family again. It's going to be Uncle Howdy. It's going to be Alexa Bliss. All of them supposed to come back together. And he's supposed to take the belt either off of Seth or off of Roman. I think that's how this is going to end Roman's thing with something like that. But yeah, when he never came back, I don't even know, man. And that's probably why they called Triple H first, because he probably getting updates like, hey, what's going on? Because Randy's supposed to come back. Like this is supposed to be a whole thing. Randy's supposed to come back and everything. So
I think WWE is going to go downhill now that they sold, because they don't have that. They don't have one person that has that control, ultimate control now. Like Vince don't have control. They just booted Triple H off the board of, the committee.
He said he stepped down, but yeah, we know what happened.
You know what happened. They were like, nah, you no parts of this. So again, it's just going to be one of those. Oh, I think it could get to, I don't think there's any true reality TV. I think all reality TV is like, hey, pick up this glass, act angry, whatever. Like, even though it's reality, I think that's what WWE will become is an overproduced reality show where it's not, you can't ad lib, you can't, there will be no more Rock and Stone Cold going out there saying what they want to say just to get under people's skin.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
They all made their money, so they're all good. They all made their money.
Like, it was amazing, like, just to see Edge, celebrate 25 years. You know what I mean?
Your boy's about to he's signing for AEW.
That's what they saying, but he said he what? He said I'm not going anywhere.
Somebody inside WWE said that they pretty much know that he's going to AEW because when they said, what's it going to take to sign you? He declined to even talk about what it would take. And they said because Christian's over there and
everybody's over there.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
He said he'd want because you figure FTR is over there. He partnered with them.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit, CM Punk just did a tribute to him the other day when he wore that outfit, the Golden Vampire thing. So yeah, he'll go over there. He'll get a bigger payday for less stuff and look golden.
Finally wrestle Sting.
Yeah.
I don't know how I ain't been watching, so I don't know how good Sting can move, but
bro, he jumped off a ladder, but they did him dirty. They held the wrong side of the ladder. So when he jumped from in the ring out onto the table.
Yeah.
And so they held the back of the ladder. So when you jump off the front, you're supposed to hold the front legs so they don't move.
Right.
Well, he landed on his ribs on the side of the table, and he thought he broke his ribs. And they were like, how many times are these stupid idiots going to hold the wrong side of the ladder?
Bruh. They got to do something because AEW ain't going to last. I don't see them lasting after at least 2 years. I don't see that.
Nah, they got so much backstage drama going on. They don't have an iron fist like Vince. Vince would be like, nope, shut up or go home, whatever.
Right. And that's how I know something wrong. If you there 25 years and you don't want to come back, that means something inside is not sitting right.
Yeah.
You're like, nah, I'm not doing that.
You see the writing on the wall now that they sold. Like, it's one of those things. You don't have the luxury to go to the boss and be like, Vince, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that. Mm-hmm. Now you have a whole committee that's just going to be like, look, it's our way or the highway.
Yeah, you see they got John Cena just showing up randomly. Like,
they got him going to go do a match in India now.
Right, like, and he said he can't do it no more. He literally said it when he did the 20th anniversary. He said, yo, I can't do this anymore. Like, they don't care. But all right, brother. I got 2 videos for you. One I find hilarious. Okay, I want your opinion, and it's a lot to unpack. It's like different pieces of the video, so check it out. All right.
Friends call me Mundo. I'm 34 years old, and I'm into pretty untrustworthy girls. I got a thing for them. If you ever been called trash, that's my kind of treasure. If you ever been called a hoe, you ain't. People just jealous of you because they ain't out there living their life. Anyways, you got daddy issues, hit me up.
I didn't know Mexicans were in Idaho, first and foremost.
That's racist as shit.
It is. And
when you get locked up, they're going to send you, depending on what your crime is, they're going to send you to the most furthest bumfuck town that they're going to say, hey, look, Pablo did this. We're going to send him over there in North Dakota in a one-room jail. It's the only thing there is just going to be him and nobody else. They'll stick you somewhere.
Because Mondo and Idaho don't seem like they go together. Okay. Him saying he like untrustworthy girls off the rip. How you feel about that, bro?
Bro, I know I've known a lot of people inside that have cell phones, whatever. Like, these guys are going to say whatever to get them. Somebody's going to send some money on their commissary. That's going to be a bed for them to lay their head down in when they get out. Like, I don't care what you look. You can look like Barbara Walters, ate a damn walrus, and they're going to be like, "You the best looking thing I've seen come through this yard in a long time, girl."
He said, if you're trash, that's my kind of treasure.
Hey,
I love that line, bro.
The trashier you are, the funner it is sometimes.
Bruh, absolutely, 110%. But yeah, if you want to call me racist, and if you're one of the best friends, followers you probably have in your lifetime, it's cool. I'll be racist. I didn't know there's Mexicans in Idaho, so yeah. Raimondo.
That's a perfect place to put it on like some like type of illegal business. Then they'd be like, they'll never suspect us here.
Yeah, that's true. So Raimondo Ruiz, hope you get your lady, man.
Or guys, 2023, whatever, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. He said, my man said, yo, they just hating on you. Don't worry about it. They hate because you living your life. I love it. All right, here go a question for you, brother.
My wife passed away and left me with 2 children, but I just found out through DNA that they are not my children. I am 36 years old. Please advise me what y'all think he should do. So there's
Call
a guy.
Dago.
Huh?
Call grandma.
What you think, bro?
So 2 children, neither one of them are his.
Yep. He found out through DNA.
So there's a lot of details we're missing here. Like, how old are the children? How long?
Right.
You know, if they're like 1 and 3, you know, versus 12 and 9 or whatever. That's a big decision difference there also. But yeah, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
I'd be beyond pissed. Like, obviously, but again,
would you like disown the kids though?
So I didn't do that, you know.
Right.
So no. However, again, there's a lot more stuff that needs to be, you know, how long has this been? You know, you need, if you guys been together 30 years and you just did, hey, we just did the ancestry and your kids like 20 and 18, like, you know, you could be pissed, but at the end of the day, like, it's 30 years of, you know, it is what it is.
True.
That's why I don't understand. Like, I get it. People have morals and they say, hey, you know, he cheated on me last year and I just found out. Well, you guys probably had sex 1,500 times in that last year and did all kind of nasty, freaky shit. Yeah. Like, at this point, like, you've already licked whatever germs off that's been there or whatever. So, like, why leave now? Now, if he did last night and you came home and you called him last night, that's a different story. But if you find out it was a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever, and you guys already had a kid since then or whatever,
because they feel like they broke that trust bond with them, man. Like, they feel like they second guessing every move you do. Like, oh, he usually home at 4, but now he's home at 4:15. What are you doing for that 15 minutes? You know what I mean?
Been there, done that. I get it 100%.
Yeah, me too. That's why. So that's why they don't care how long it is. It's like you broke that trust. Now I don't know if I can trust you again from this point going forward. Like, they could have did it 20 years ago, stopped. Just did the one time. They don't care. As long as you did it that one time, I mean, you can do it again.
I've been there, done that. I know.
Yeah.
Trust me. And it's like, hey, who you texting? Hey, who just text you? Hey, you know, where you been at? Hey, where you going at? Like, why you got to go to the store right now? You never go to the store right now. Why you getting gas at night? You never get gas at night. Like,
why you putting like clothes on to go outside? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Why you wear your nice shoes to go to take trash out? Like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
So, yeah, it happens. You got any advice for people that's going to do that?
Like I just said, like, you know, love is love. If you found out it was a couple years ago and you've already done the nasties with them 110 times or you've had a kid, whatever, think about it. Like, you can leave on morals and like, hey, it's the principle, you cheated. I get it. I'm cool with that. But at the end of the day, like, you know, if you guys were making plans, been on vacation, had a great time, all this and that, then trust is broken. You got to rebuild that. But at the end of the day, you've been with them for the last year or two. Like, why leave now?
Right.
You know, your girl might be texting her ex or something, or you know, ex baby daddy, something like that. You know, that's their baby daddy's always going to hang around. So
true.
You know, there's a difference between
they definitely will.
You know, the baby daddy's rule, you know how that is. Like, they can always hit again. So
baby daddy rules full effect always. And if y'all think so,
yeah, like your girl can be honest and faithful and never do anything wrong. That baby daddy rule is always in effect. So you're always going to say, why is he texting you? Why is he calling? Why is he whatever? You know.
And for those who don't know why, it's so they can save the body count. That's it.
Yeah, they were like, I didn't want to cheat on nobody. I didn't want to sleep with nobody else. Yeah, I've already been with him. We got kids together. We got history.
Yep.
We got a past. We got all this.
Yeah, man.
Don't trust your girl's baby daddy.
Yeah,
that's my advice.
Even if they arguing, trust me, they ain't always arguing.
Yeah.
So, we're just full of hope today. Full of hope.
We're just crushing people's dreams.
Right. So we're trying something new today. I've known this man since we were 15. We know a lot about each other, but we don't know everything about each other. So I thought it would be dope if we can ask each other 10 questions apiece and, see how creative his questions are, because I'm pretty sure he's going to ask some stupid ass questions that I'm going to have to answer.
No, I got some legit, like, strictly, like, if we're doing a real interview business type question.
Okay.
Like that people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I got some questions for him that,
I'm not going to ask how many glizzies you guzzled recently.
It's been a while since I gobbled a glizzy, sir.
I didn't even know it was called a glizzy gobbler. Now I was like, oh, it's a glizzy guzzler, but nope.
Yeah. You tell you have a child in high school.
Yeah. Football had a cookout the other day after scrimmages.
Yeah.
And they were like, every kid was like, I'm scared to eat their hot dog because I'm like, why? And they were like, yo, somebody's going to take a picture of me eating this glizzy. Yep. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yep. You don't want to get caught with the glizzy in their mouth. Yep.
The kid tried to get me, and I was like, I saw you watch it. I was like, you too slow. Nope.
All right. You go first, sir.
All right. Let me. I think the first question is a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your role model and why?
My role model.
Good question. See?
Yeah, that's a good question. My role model, I have two. It's Kevin Hart and Jay-Z. I like Kevin Hart because me and him are, I think, like 2 years apart, and he's doing everything that I want to do. So he's going into that direction of the business and media that I want to be in. So watching his moves and how he make connections and moving up the way is very inspiring to me. So he's my role model in that fact. And Jay-Z's my role model because, like me, he came from the city and made something of himself when people said he couldn't do it, and growing up, as you know, my family wasn't the most supportive family in the world of me. So I had to do a lot of stuff on my own. And that is the reason why they're my role models.
Okay. I don't have to agree with it. You give your honest opinion,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right. How old is the oldest woman you've ever slept with?
You mean the age difference?
Yeah, let's
between
do that.
Me and them,
because who knows when you did it? So yeah, the age difference. What's the biggest age difference you had?
7 years.
7?
Well, let me recalculate this. 8 years. Yeah, okay. 8 year difference.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all, sir. I was thinking like maybe a couple more, but okay.
I'm trying to like off the top of my head, like I thought of one super quick, like.
Mm-hmm.
So then, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's. Yeah. All right, I got a bunch of questions written down. So I'm, I didn't put them in the order that I should have said 1, 2, whatever. So I'm just gonna like.
A fun fact: he was supposed to do my episode of questions, people, and we never got around to it. So this is interesting that we're getting to this point.
I guess this is one because everything you go. What makes you the happiest version of yourself?
Who are you, bro? Like, where are these questions coming?
You told me take this serious. You said you better have some good questions.
I did. Good God.
And I was like, I can ask stupid stuff, and you be like, look, bro, what's your body count or whatever. But like, I figured this is like your questions, the episode that we didn't get to do.
I've been on a lot of interviews. You know this. I've been on a lot of. No one has ever asked me that question before. That's crazy. The happiest version of myself. I'm creating. I'm literally creating, man. I fell into this, and I love it. I fucking love creating, man. I love getting the concept together, writing it down, putting it together, and then putting it out, and then it works. Like I love to put on a show to make people smile. That's the professional side of me. The laid back side of me, just sitting back and watching old horror movies.
I'm sorry.
Bless you. No problem. Yeah, just sitting back and watching old horror movies, man. Because just watching that, because they're performing, they're creating something. I'm in the creative space. That makes me the most happiest, bro.
Oh, I got a real good question. The next one.
I bet you do. What makes you start creating? Because I see it like it's slowly built up for you, and now you're at a point where you're just like a super creative right now.
So I think what really happened was I used to pay people like, I remember when I first bought my house, I paid Empire Floors $10,000 to do floor in my living room and my kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
They came in, boom, boom, boom. It got ruined in like 2 months, and they were like, "Oh, we come back and we'll fix it again for the same amount." Nope, absolutely not. So I was like, "Can't be too hard. Like, let me try this." My dad knew how to do it, so he came down here. He was like, "Yeah, I know. I've done it a million times. I'll show you how to do it." So he showed me how to do it, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty easy, man. Like, I made this look nice. I think I made it look nicer than them."
Mm-hmm.
So even though it's the floor, to me, it was creating a better picture than what they painted.
Mm.
So then, instead of paying somebody to do my kitchen floor, I got the tiles and I was like, I'm gonna do it myself. Like,
right.
I think I can do better than them. When I bought my smoker, me and Junior started smoking some meat. I was like, man, I think I created a better pit beef sandwich than the restaurants I go to. When I make crab cakes, I created that. So I was like, man, everything I do, whether it's food, cooking, building, designing clothes, whatever the case might be, I always want to or think that I'm going to do better than the competition has. And I want to prove to them, like, why would I pay to do your stuff when I can do it just as better, just as good, or if not better than you? So I think it was just the fact that, like, I got tired of paying for crappy stuff from other people.
Yeah.
So I figured I can create or do my own stuff better and save myself a lot of money in the process.
Nice.
So I didn't even have to start with like painting, portraits like you do, or like creating audio or media. It was just like, man, if I built a deck and I was like, somebody did an estimate for like almost $30,000 for that deck. I built it and it turned out real nice and had like $6,000 into it. I'm like, man, saved $24,000.
Yeah.
And everybody that came over was like, man, this is real nice. Like, who'd you pay? I did it myself. You did this? Yep.
Yeah, we're supposed to be doing my deck, sir. One of these days.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Nice.
All right. What's the most surprising conversation you've had with a stranger? Damn, I went deep in these questions.
Yeah. The most surprising conversation.
You might want to edit this and use this for your questions episode too.
I might use this question. Absolutely. So I used to be the computer tech at High Point Elementary, right? And every day there was this old man that's waiting for his granddaughter. And he looked like, he's one of the Hatfields in McCoy. He had a super long beard. He's playing a guitar in front of his pickup truck, and it had the Confederate flag on the back of his pickup truck. I used to watch him every day for about 2-3 months. And one day he was playing, Leonard Skinner. or something like that. I can't remember who it was. And I stopped and I was like, I like this song. Me and him literally had a full-on conversation, because I'm thinking the worst because where the school is and then what the representation I see. And me and him just had a dope conversation about like the best guitar players that ever like came up in the world. So that was the most surprising conversation for me.
Yeah, and I'm not defending anybody who has like the Confederate flags, whatever. I honestly don't think that the younger generation who has them, uses them, wears them, I don't think they know the meaning behind it. I don't think they know
and that's
any
what he was telling
history
me
on
too.
it.
Yeah.
He got it. He probably got it because all his friends had it and thought it was cool. And blah blah blah. Like everybody gets these Nikes because everybody else has them. Like they don't know what happened with them, or they come from sweatshops. Whatever. They don't care. Like it doesn't make everybody bad.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And he happened to like a few of the same guitars I like too. So it was dope. And I think he was surprised that I knew as much as I did. So, let me go back to the list. Let's go back to the list.
You just made the list.
Yes, you just made the list. What is the worst thing you've ever said in an argument to a significant other?
I could tell you the worst thing that was ever said to me, but like I was that guy. So when people say racism exists or sexism or whatever, like, so I tell Junior all the time, people who can't beat you at certain things, when they get mad at you, the first thing they're going to do is use the most obvious thing. And I use this example to them. So if I'm arguing with you and I don't know you, the first thing that comes to my mind is a racist name, right?
Yep.
If you're arguing with me, you don't know me, the first thing comes to your mind is a racist name. Like the only thing I can get at this guy with, if I call him a cracker, honky, whatever, like that's usually what comes to mind. If we're both two white guys arguing, the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, this guy's heavy set. Oh, call him a you fat guy, whatever the case might be. So I think I probably went down that road before where I've used a personal thing against them that might have been an issue with themselves at the time that they they were insecure about. So I probably used one of their insecurities against them.
Okay.
But again, like it's just what people do when they can't get at you a certain way. They just look for the first obvious thing. You wear glasses. Growing up, what the first thing that people said? Hey, 4 eyes, whatever. Like, hey,
blind motherfucker. And
stuff like that. It's the first obvious thing that sticks out. Doesn't make them a racist because they, whatever. It's the obvious. They don't know nothing about you. You're a stranger. They don't know anything about you. They can't say broke ass or it's why you ain't got no daddy. They don't know any of that. All they can do is go after the obvious thing. And
I'd rather them say that. That's like, don't say 4 eyes. I'd rather you just say I don't have no daddy. I would have took that like, okay.
Like for Junior, like his thing is his weight. It's first thing. Like nobody's ever going to say I'll punch you in the face. They're going to be like, oh, whatever. Like piss me off. And like I told this story to the lady who did our photo shoot for us because, like, for example, last year during baseball, one of his teammates threw the ball and they threw it way over his head and passed him. Yeah. And he had no chance. Nobody would have caught that thing. Yeah. And the first thing they said was, I bet you if that was a cheeseburger, you would have caught it. So that was a senior.
I heard that, sir. I heard that before. Yeah.
So a senior said it. And then the next play, they do it again. And because the senior said it, an underclassman thought it'd be cool because they're like, oh, I can be cool like the senior. He said the same thing. So then we're walking another day, we were walking from the field to the car, and this kid, he was like, what's up, fat ass? And I was like, I stopped. I was like, what'd he say? Yeah. And he was like, nah. I was like, no. Back in my day, in my neighborhood, I was like, go fuck him up for that. I was like, we would have fucked him up for that shit back in the day. I was like, don't let nobody disrespect you like that. So again, like 2 instances there where like the only thing they can get at was his weight, and that's always going to be his thing. So he either has to be thick skinned with it, or he's just going to have to, let it roll off, bounce off, or just fix it. And if you can't fix it, punch him in the face, whatever.
Or be funny like his uncle. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and see, that's what he does. He lets it roll off now. He makes jokes about it. But when I was his age, there was no making jokes about it where we grew up at. Like, it was like, hey, you disrespect somebody, like, you don't give me my $10 that you borrowed back. That's a punch in the face. $2, a punch in the face.
Yeah,
now these kids
you don't give it back, the next person won't give it back.
Yeah.
So now I have no money.
Yeah.
So,
and then,
I get it.
Now it's like, you borrowed $27 from me, oh, don't worry about it. No, that's not how it works. Like back in like I told Michael, if I was his age now, I would have done beat up half his school and dated half the girls.
Yep. And you would have been kicked out and got sent to another high school.
Yep.
We didn't have that benefit because there was no other high school. So they had to keep you there. Okay.
All right. I should have really wrote these in the order I wanted to ask them, but they were just. All right, here's one. Another deep one. What's something you've learned early on in life that you don't think other people usually do now?
I've learned to respect others.
I was going to say respect. That was the first thing.
Yep, respect.
Treat people good.
Yeah, I treat the janitor the same way I treat the principal. Everybody's the same person to me, because you never know what part of life you're going to be at or when you're going to meet them again. I can meet just a regular person and like be mean to them, and then 5 years later they're like a super successful millionaire, and I'm sitting there begging them for a shot at doing something. So yeah, I learned respect early on. I say hello when I walk into a room. You know what I mean? Because I ain't sleep with you last night. And we grew up in that time. I just learned to respect people, and I take people at face value. So whatever you show me, that's what I'm gonna do until I learn something different. All right. I can't, it's two. I'm trying to figure out which one I'm gonna say. What qualities in me do you see in yourself?
Qualities? I can't say good looking. I can't say.
They say friends share qualities. So, what qualities in me do you see in yourself?
Definitely not smart. You're not funny. I think the things that we have in common that you don't see any of the new age people do. Like, there's no one, like, what I see in you that I see in myself is ambition, the drive, the go-getter, like the whatever you need to do to make it happen, to get it done type mentality. The hard working, like, you got a business going, like I got a business going, like trying to build it from the ground up. You're trying to, do all the work. You're trying to be that one person. The only person, that you can depend on is yourself. Like you only depend on yourself. I only depend on myself. You don't see those qualities in anybody nowadays. Like if, the people nowadays, they don't have any of that. So it's like one of those things, like it's a lost breed out there.
Okay. I agree.
All right, here's a good one for you. Since we know you're Mr. Casanova.
Hey, yo, really?
What do you think love is?
Fuck you. Okay.
It's a good question.
Oh.
See, you told me put some effort into this, and I came with my A+++.
I asked this question 3 seasons in a row. I was praying to God that I would never get asked this question. What love is? Love to me is understanding. Understanding that the person that you're with is not perfect. They won't be perfect. They only can get better in life. So to understand that in a person is love to me. Because if you take the time to understand somebody, there should not be any extreme arguments. There's always going to be disagreements, but it should not be any extreme arguments. I also believe that, love fades. You know what I mean? Love is like what my man say, like getting in the shower. You know what I mean? You get in the shower every morning, you don't smell fresh at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You gotta get in the shower again, continue to do it. Like love fades, and you gotta continue to build that love to keep it going, to keep it growing. So that's what love is to me.
All right. I got another follow-up question after that. I'm gonna use my next one after that since it ties into it.
Okay. Why are you my friend?
Because when you're little, nobody else wanted to talk to you.
We're both. You're white. I'm black. I mean, you lived over West Side. I was in Southwest. Like, why are you my friend?
There was no color growing up. Like, obviously there was color, but not in my household.
Right.
Like I have every race that you can probably name in my, that are cousins of mine. So I literally have a white aunt who has two mixed kids, a Spanish, a Puerto Rican, and an American kid.
I met one.
So,
yeah, I know.
So back then it was just, like where we went to school at, like, trust me, like this school, we were small fish in a big pond. Like, everybody had their little cliques or whatever. And I was always the type of person that, like, look, you don't mess with me, I don't mess with you.
Right.
And we clicked, we messed with each other. So it was one of those things where it's like, there was no forced stuff. There was no, we have to do it because our parents pay for us to go to this school, or because we're both white, or, because we don't like the same person, whatever the case might be.
And you were super protective. Like, super protective. Like,
I was a different person back then. I don't want to say different. I was a different person back then.
Yeah, you was super. Like, that's the one thing I remember about you in high school. Like people didn't mess with me, but if you found out something before I did, you would go take care of it before I even hear about it. I hear about it later.
And I think I get that from, my brother, because he was the same way. Because I could tell you stories and stories of, how he was protected with me and everything like that. And I just, I tried to make sure I was the same way to other people. That was, it's almost like pay it forward type thing, or pass it down, whatever the case might be.
Yeah, I remember it was a snow day. And you know how it is walking down the hill on a snow day. I remember your brother was walking with us. And he said he dared anybody to like throw any ice balls or anything at us walking down the hill. And I was like, well, all right, okay.
That's how it was with him. It was like, my friends were automatically his friends. His friends were automatically my friends. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, you're cool with him, cool with me.
I love it, man. All right, sir. Go ahead, your follow-up question.
What does your mother expect of your partner?
He knows my mom. I don't know why he asked this fucking question.
But the people don't know your mother.
She don't want them to hurt me.
Them? How many partners you got?
No, I mean, you know what I mean. Like over time, like that's just the rule for her. She's like, don't hurt my child, like, and don't take shit from him because he talks shit. So don't take shit from my child and don't hurt him. She don't expect him to be my mom. She doesn't expect none of that, like that extra shit. She just be there for him, love me, and if I'm hurt, make sure I'm okay. So she ain't got to worry. That's all. This guy. I put my mom in this. I'm telling her too. I see her. I see her on Sunday. I'm gonna tell her. Since you want to talk about mamas, what is your mom's opinion about me?
Oh, she asks about you all the time. She loves you. Like, again, like I remember one time growing up, I was probably 12 or so, and my friend came in my house, and he was like grown man. He was like 6 foot something at the time, like big
Yeah.
boy, like he was a tough kid in the neighborhood. He dropped an N bomb in my house, and my dad just ripped into him and let him have it. And he was like, "We don't use that word here. We don't say that. Whatever the case might be." My dad was like yelling at this kid,
Yeah.
and because like back then it was like there was no colors in a
Yeah.
sense, and there was none of that stuff. So it was like one of those things where like again, if you were cool with us, my parents loved you. Like we had friends stay at our house like the entire summers all the time that like would stay there when we weren't even there
Mhm.
because so if my parents love you, then they love you.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember like the first day I met her, she fed me. Like the first day. No questions asked. Like, you hungry? Yeah.
Yep, no
Eat.
questions asked. How my dad was. You come in my house and my dad
Yep.
was like, "You hungry?" No, you want to eat. No, I'm not hungry. You're going to eat. Like, you take this
Mm-hmm.
and eat it.
But oh my god, yo, your dad at the wedding, bro. Like, bro, I was in tears crying, bro. Like, he had no sense in his body that whole day, bro. I was in there laughing nonstop.
Like, he'll give you his honest opinion too. Like now
Yeah,
that
and
he's
that's what it
older,
is.
he's
Like, he wasn't even trying to be funny. He was just
nope.
being completely himself. And I was like, I can't sit over here anymore. I gotta get up, bro.
Yep.
Like,
He'll literally tell you like, "This guy's an effing asshole right here," and then you're like, "What?" And he'll be like, "Yeah, I don't care. It's my nephew. It's my cousin. What?" He
right,
don't care.
bro. Hilarious, man.
All right. Where's your happy place?
It's the best question you asked. My happy place. If we want to be honest,
Your sock drawer.
110%. I have a sanctuary here. My third bedroom is my sanctuary. My home at one point wasn't my happy place. At one point I didn't have one at all. And you remember those days? I was gone. So here, man, I'm in my house underneath my roof. Because growing up we moved a lot, so I didn't have a place I can call home. So 7 years ago, literally 7 years ago, almost 2 days ago to the day, I bought this house. I have a home. I have somewhere stable where I can. Hey, I'm got somewhere to go. My lights are gonna be on. I got air conditioning. I got food. My house is my happy place, man.
I get it. So I had somebody ask me the other day, they're like, "How come you never invite girls to your house or whatever?" And I'm like, first of all, like that's my piece.
Yeah.
Like after my divorce and everything and all this stuff, like I know I can come home. There may be days where I'm lonely or bored and ain't got nobody to talk to, whatever the case
Mm-hmm.
might be. But I know when I put my head on that pillow, there's no arguing, there's no
Yeah.
stress. I got nobody knocking on my door, bringing drama to my door. Like,
Right.
it is what, like, again, same thing. Like, once I walk in my door, like, I don't have all that BS going on that other people
Yeah.
have at their houses.
Okay. So, what makes you most happy right now?
My kids,
Yeah.
number one, like, I bust Michael's balls about sports, and I'm hard on him and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But there's days we got to get up 5:30 in the morning. We got to drive to Pennsylvania. We got to do this. We got to do that. We're driving 6 hours a day to play ball. For 2 hours, whatever the case might be, one game, and 3 hour drive there, 3 hour drive back. But
Mm-hmm.
like I'm most happiest like watching him play sports or whatever the case might be. Like that's my happy place. My happy stuff is just being able to see him have fun and succeed. Whether he does good today or bad,
Mm-hmm.
we might have a tough conversation somewhere throughout that day or that week. But it's to say my conversations now are, what were you thinking with this? Or what were you thinking with that? Like what made you do this or what made you do that, in a sense of making sure he is using his baseball IQ or his football IQ, not saying that was a dumbass play. Why'd you do that? No, like I just want to make sure if he says, hey, I thought this guy was cutting this way, I went that way, figured meet in the middle. Great, I see that. I'm cool with that. Like I understand that. As long as you have a reason behind it, don't just be like, I was lost out there and didn't know what to do, and went that. I zigged when he zagged.
Okay.
All right. 2-part question. In one, though, I'm not going to wait till. What is your biggest fear, and have you ever faced it?
My biggest fear. My biggest fear that's not realistic is me exploding. I'm petrified of exploding.
What is that? Combustible explosion?
Yeah, that internal combustion, whatever that is. Yeah, I'm petrified of that. That's why I stay away from propane grills. I'm petrified of the possibility of that shit that's exploding, and I'm exploding with it. Realistic fear is being seen as not the person that I am. That
as a fraud or a fake?
Yeah, it's called imposter syndrome, and I have it very, very heavy. Because in school I was the smart kid. You know what I mean? So that's why I went to college. And that's why when I came back from college, y'all didn't hear from me for a while because I was embarrassed that I flunked out of college, and I didn't want people to look at me like, oh, he's not the smart guy. I don't want people looking at me, oh, he's not the strong guy, or he's not athletic because I played football. You know what I mean? Like, so that fear of being seen as a fraud, I haven't really faced it yet. But it's always in the back of my mind that one day somebody's gonna be like, hey, he ain't it, so.
All right.
That was fucking tough, sir. Tell my therapist on you. What is one of the earliest, fondest memories of you and I as friends?
Earliest, fondest memories.
Yeah, old man, use your brain.
I think one of the I remember. I'm trying to think of whose class it was.
I remember you used to have the little gold chain too. So go ahead.
Like I remember when we first got into class together.
Yeah.
What was it? 3300 was the level that the principal's office was on.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So if you go down there one hall, we were on the right side. I think it was.
Was it math?
It was, when you went down, there's two sides. The principal's office was here. You go down this long hallway or this long hallway.
The principal's office is in the front, and there was two hallways on the side.
Yeah, it was across from, I think, where Manbeck's class was. We were in a class over there. I forgot what class it was.
Yeah.
When we first got in there, and I was asking questions like, we just met you or whatever, and they were telling us all about the Excel program and like how we were going to stick together. We were going to be the same kids in the same class for the next X amount of years, whatever. Kid. I was like, man, I get to hang out with this dude for the next couple years and not have nothing change. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I forgot what class it was, but yeah, that's when they were breaking it down to us.
So if that's math, that had to be like science then. It had to be the science class. So yeah, I remember that day. Because we didn't believe them. We was like, oh no, we're not staying together.
Yeah, they were like, you might get somebody that will come in, like one person or two people here, but other than that, you guys are just going to stay together.
Yeah, like Phil. He just showed up all of a sudden.
Yeah. Popped in like a pervert.
Right. So, okay. My earliest one of us is, what day was that? Shit. I want to say physics in Mr. Cameron's class. When we went to the Olds game.
Oil game. We did the sign that says, "Hey, Robbie, you spat on the wrong."
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. That was one.
Cameron made us use the word spat because
he made us. Yeah, that's the proper way of saying it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's either that or when we borrowed the grade book.
I don't know what you're talking about, Willis. I wonder where Cameron's at.
I wonder too. I heard he cut the ponytail off. Wherever
I was going to say ponytail having.
Yeah. So. Yep.
All right, how many more we got?
I think 1 or 2. So you just pick 2. We just do 2 more. Oh, and I remember when we was in 10th grade, I was with Steve. They played Mississippi Burning. And Steve is like, "You trying to get me fucked up in here?" Like, I gotta leave. Don't turn this shit on.
He's still on my Facebook. He's always in and out of some shit.
Yeah. Steve is white, by the way, people. And I didn't have all white friends. I had 2 nice white friends. So they stayed in trouble.
All right, I got last 2 final questions. So what do you consider your greatest accomplishment so far?
My greatest accomplishment is nephew. That's my favorite. That's my greatest accomplishment.
HBD.
Yep. Happy birthday to my son, man. 28 years old today. I met him when he was about 1.5, 2 years old. I made a decision back then that I would not leave his side because my father left my side, and it was kind of rough. And I went through a lot of shit that I shouldn't have. And I knew where he grew up at because he grew up on Payson, and you know how Payson was back then. He wouldn't have came out as it's a possibility. I wasn't gonna say he wouldn't because a lot of people off of Payson doing great things right now. There's a possibility that he wouldn't have been exactly. He wouldn't be a good person in society. So I stuck by his side. I helped him. I molded him in ways and guided him. Got him to Penn State University. So, and now he's like a whole big time DJ and photographer now. So I'm super proud of that.
I'm with it.
This is not a personal one, but I would love to hear your answer for this. So, your significant other, right? Their ex passes away. How long do they have to grieve?
When you say ex, what, like ex-husband?
Ex-husband, immediate ex-boyfriend. How long do they have time to grieve?
Man, once the casket goes in the ground, that's it. Because realistically, I would say you ain't got he's an ex for a reason, so you ain't got no reason to grieve at all. But realistically, they'll shed a tear here or there. But once the casket goes in, like, okay, back to life.
Okay. They can go to the funeral?
Yeah, they were exes. It ain't like they're going to make out or anything. Like,
what if the mom will come up to her like, "Oh, baby, I miss you," and give her a hug?
You know how women are.
Yeah.
Probably would.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, last question. What do you wish people knew about you? Boom, I just dropped the mic because my questions were, look at that, you're silent, like, man. Best question for last.
What do I wish people knew about me that they don't already know? Like, I'm pretty transparent.
There's something.
Yeah. I cry a lot. And I yearn for hugs, but I don't know how to like reach out and get those sometimes. And you know, not a hug from a significant other, you know, just one of those, it's okay, you're going to be all right hug. You know what I mean? Like, so I yearn for those sometimes. Yeah, that's That's what I wish people knew. Like, I'm not as put together as most people think I am. Right. And
so what you're saying is, if you see him in the street, walk up and just give him a hug.
No, don't don't do that unless you know me, or if you know my name on Instagram. That, because then we're pretty cool if you do that. If you know my name on Instagram, then yeah, you can be like, hey, what's up? But yeah, I hurt sometimes. So, and I'm in therapy, so a lot of things people say to me, it affects me.
Words matter.
Yeah, but I have to be strong because of, I'm a man, but it's not good to do that. My therapist say so. Yeah, I hurt sometimes. That's all. I'm a cheat. I'm actually the same question. What do you wish people knew about you?
I think I wish people knew that I was a decent human being. Like, I feel like people judge and like people make assumptions about me. Like, growing up, a lot of people called me and my family white trash, and always thought we were poor and we were ghetto and we were like up to no good, whatever. But behind the scenes, I do a lot of stuff to try to help people out. Like we talked about last episode, like, I try to help out little kids' elementary schools, pay for all the lunches. I try to, give kids stuff that, help them out so they don't get picked on, stuff like that. So I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff that, like, I don't always post or try to get credit for, but at the end of the day, the people that know me know, and the people that don't know me just think that I'm just like some average, typical jerk.
That I remember a time in the group chat when someone said they didn't want their daughter to date someone like you, and I was like, you don't know him very well, because that's exactly who you want them to date. You are amazing, bro. Like, for real.
I appreciate it. Like people, we had this conversation a couple years ago on a different platform or whatever. Like these podcasts, man, like these names, what's my name today? Fraud detector, like talking about best friend, whatever. Like this is a show. Like these are personas. Like this is like wrestling. Like, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, for example. Like he got on there, he was all screaming, but that wasn't him or his voice or whatever outside, whatever. Like Hulk Hogan wasn't walking around like pumping his arms. You get on there, they call Ray Lewis Red Light Ray. Once the red light comes on, you got to put the speeches on. You got to do all this. Like, you're doing everything for a show. You're doing everything for audience. You're doing everything for, sell tickets to the event, whatever the case might be.
Like, baby, before the state get there.
Right, exactly. So it's like, people can be like, oh, best friend says this, best friend does that. Like sometimes, we have somebody in Sarcarrogance that gives me crap all the time.
All the time.
And I'm always like, does she think I'm that person? Or does she realize that this is just a persona that's put on for people to laugh and smile?
Yeah, she don't have that. She don't have that off and on switch. She's just her. And she feels like everybody should be just her. So, but yeah, it's an off and on switch. And everybody that meets you, they say the same thing to me. Like, yo, he's nothing like I thought he was. Nothing. Yeah. Like, even at that first episode of Questions, the very first episode of Questions I ever did, but everybody who saw that, it was like, yeah, my whole thought process about him is different now. So, but yeah, man,
I try to keep people guessing.
You're awesome, man. I told you all the time, man. You're a great dude. I'm proud to be your friend, man. Like,
I appreciate it. Again, like I said earlier, like we got a lot of stuff. We're a lot alike. We both picked up a child along the way that wasn't ours, took care of them. Both hustling, trying to make a business, trying to make a career, trying to fulfill fantasies and dreams and stuff like that.
White,
You don't get that in a lot of times when you got a group of friends, like everybody has their own different direction of where they or how they want to get to the top, or what. Some people don't even have any ambitions or goals, but like we both are always like, I tell my son, like, I'm constantly hustling. Like, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul on a regular basis to try to see how I could get ahead and make that next dollar. Like, if I buy something for $20, I'm selling it, flipping it for $30, $40. I'm just making, whatever the case might be, just to make a couple extra bucks. Like, I'm always hustling.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I was telling one of the teachers at the school, actually, like that night you called me, it was like 12:30, and you was like, why am I outside? And I was like, I got an Uber to get the rent for the studio. Like, and I heard it in your voice that you was like upset that I was outside at like 12:30, but you was like, all right, I get it. Let me know when you get home. And then that was it. Like, but I heard it in your voice. I heard the concern. So yeah, man. Like,
yeah. So I had a conversation with one of the people in our group chat the other day, and about 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, and I was trying to figure out what was going on in their home life that they were having such problems. And they were like, I just switched job. I'm trying to get back to the money I was making, so I can get caught up. And I was like, if it was about money, like, why didn't you just say something? Like, I could have helped you out with money.
Yeah.
Like, whatever the case might be. It's like, I'm never too big to try to help anybody out. Like,
I would never ask you.
Right.
You know that.
So it's one of those things where, like, again, people just be like, oh, when your friend's like, hey, if you ever need anything, let me know. To me, that's the biggest crock line that anybody could ever use, because they don't really mean it. Like, you're at a funeral, like, oh, if you need anything, let me know.
Yeah,
and
people
then
really
you call
don't
them.
mean it.
Yeah, they don't mean it. So,
but you
I try not to be that person. I try to mean it. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to be my business partner?
Sure. I'll be the face.
Yeah. For once, you'll be the face?
I'll be the face.
Yeah, I'm tired of being the face. I'd rather let me be in the back, though.
I hear you.
Yeah. But yeah, man, you're doing great, man. I told you a long time ago, when you start building those shelves, bro, I was like, you got something, bro. It's something in you. You got it, man. And I'm seeing it coming alive now, and it's great, bro. Like,
yeah, it's just, again, I just never bought into it, and now I'm starting to man, maybe this is something.
Starting to believe, yeah.
Starting to believe.
Yeah, we came a long way, brother.
We did, from Payson Street,
bruh. You know what I mean? Going up to the subway, getting free subs because we know the people in there. Like,
yeah, I was just telling Gina the other day. I was like, man, I used to, after school, I took the whole family up. That was our dinner. Go up Subway. We knew the person. Come home with like 8 subs.
Bro, I drove past it the other day. I was like, I wonder if they work this.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder if they work there still. Like, yep. I remember when you first got your car, bro, and we had half a days. I was like, oh, I ain't catching the bus ever again.
It's a long lot of things. They say if you can be friends with somebody for, I think it's like 10 years, then you'll be friends for life.
Yeah. We're at if
25, 26, 27.
We're like 27, man. It was like the next year. Yeah, it's like 27.
Damn, that's a long time.
Yep. You gotta say, you gotta do the eulogy now, sir. Yeah.
We're gonna, hopefully by the time we get old, they'll find some cure that we can live forever. Aliens will come down here and be like, hey, we got you.
Yeah. I got you. But if we don't, bury me under a tree, man. That's it. And build a bench with my name on it. You got to build it, though.
I'm going to find whatever tree I see the dog piss on the most.
Bro, I want a lemon tree, bro. Can we do a lemon tree, bro?
Their piss would be like lemon flavored, 11 cents.
That's terrible. That's all right. That's all right. Bury your ass in Morrill Park. Then you be happy.
Bro, I drove through there 2 nights ago. And like, it was 11:30, quarter to 12 at night. I drove down the boulevard, man. Yeah.
Bruh. They're trying to sell houses out there, so they're trying to kick some of the people out.
Yeah, bro. I was like, man, there ain't no way I would get out my car right here.
You might run into somebody you know. You might.
Right.
I was walking down Wilkins, because I did a delivery from the Chinese restaurant. Ran into somebody that we went to school with, totally out of it, bro. Like it's like 100 degrees outside. They got like holy sweatpants on, hair not. They're just totally gone, bro.
Bro, if you want to run into somebody that you ain't seen forever, go down Wilkins Avenue.
Yeah, and they don't live there. They just down there.
Yeah, they're just down there or the boulevard.
Yep, bro. Yeah, cause they stay having like cookouts at the park still. I'm like, never.
Yep. That's
But if you go on the other side of the park, white people over there running and walking their dogs and shit. It's just like Patterson Park. You go to the other side, you're like, nope.
Yep. I just don't know how to do it.
Yeah. You got anything else to say to people?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, you have it, man. I hope you learned a couple of things from us. If you didn't, it's fine.
Tough at this point.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, shit. We've known each other 27 years. Fuck y'all want us to do? Like, what y'all want us to do?
You should have already known some of this stuff at this point.
Right, exactly. So if y'all have any questions for us, put it in the comments. We'll answer it on the next episode, whenever that episode is. But yeah, thank y'all for another episode of Toxicology Report. We're almost at 80, bro. We're getting close. Roll to 100, baby.
That's what we're going to say when we're 80 years old.
Right?
100.
Yeah, shout out to all the people that actually know us, that went to high school with us. Y'all know these answers are true. Well, some of the answers are true. Y'all don't know the rest of the shit because y'all ain't been around. But anyway, but thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening. And just remember one thing, you're not trash. You know what I mean? They just hating. You know what I mean? They're just hating because they're not living life. All right. So be safe, stay toxic, and we out, man.